Hi. Creating class notebooks in OneNote can be helpful for teachers when they want to share information with students and allow them access to certain things, but keep certain things private or only editable by either a teacher or individual students. Today we're going to set up a class notebook for your use and your students' use. So first, we will need to do this online. This is not something you can set up through the application itself, although this process is just one time for each class that you want to make one for. I don't even know what the website is in actuality every time I search class notebook OneNote, and it is always reliably the first link. OneNote.com/classnotebook. You will need to sign in with your school account. And once you do that, you'll see just these four options. Now, if you already have some class notebooks, you can manage them over here, as well as modify notebooks that you already have to add teachers or students. Today, we're going to create a class notebook for ourselves. This name of your class should be something descriptive. Usually the pattern I use is the class period, followed by the title of the class, followed by the years of the school year. This is important because your class notebooks list is going to get very long very quickly. You don't always want to delete them after the year is over to allow you or your students to go back later things. So having the year on there as well as the period for this year's organization is a good idea. After you click next, it's going to show you the different parts of your class notebook that are going to exist. These are the collaboration space, where every teacher and every student can edit all the time. This is great for class activities, where you want people to all be writing on the same thing, very much like a Google Doc, but doing it with drawing, text, and editable content. The content library is a place where the teacher can edit, but students can only see. This works very well for remote instruction when you want to be doing something in front of the student, much like you would on a whiteboard or projector. You don't want the students to be able to edit while you're doing it. A lot of times, you can also put content that you created in the collaboration space in the content library later so that students can go back and see it without being able to mess it up for other students to see later. Finally, student notebooks are a place that each student has individual access. So they cannot see each other's student notebook. There will be a notebook available for each student, but the teacher still has access to all of those at once. So they'll get to see their students' work all the time. If you'd like to give another teacher permission to access and have the same permissions as you do, you can do that here. It's great for if you're co-teaching with someone, but absolutely not necessary. Here, we want to add our students. So I'm going to add some sample students. Can't put myself on the list. Bummer. You guys won't get to see it from my perspective. So we'll add those students there. If your students don't appear on that list, contact myself or Rob, or both, but everyone should be there because everyone has Microsoft accounts now. We're almost there. As they say, this is actually a very large step. In the student folder, in each student's individual notebook, they're going to have sections, and here's where you get to give specific titles to those sections if you like. The ones they start with are usually handouts, class notes, homework, and quizzes. I like to change those around a little bit. Handouts and class notes and homework tend to run together sometimes for me. So I tend to get rid of handouts, leave class notes. I do leave homework. Quizzes I can rename to quizzes and tests. And then if you have something else that you're going to want your students to have, sometimes for math I make one called scratch paper so students can have a place to put things that they're only going to need for a minute, but they don't have to muck up their class notes or homework sections. Once you're done there, you can click Next. It's giving you a small preview of what the teacher's notebook will look like. You should see both the collaboration space and the content library, as well as all of your students that you've put in here. If you want to see what a student notebook will look like, you can click over here and you'll notice that they see these sections, but they will only have their own, as well as the content library and collaboration space. Once you do that, click Finish, your notebook will be created. You will need to add it to your OneNote app to be able to access, and we look at that in